Okay, here we are in Central World, and this is the BMW show, and no BMW show is complete without the representatives of the motorcycles. Now here we have a 1.8 liter two-cylinder engine, and that displacement, 1.8 liters, is actually larger than the displacement of the little four-cylinder in our Toyota Vios. And let's take a look. This is quite the monster bike. Really a performance bike. I've got dual disc brakes there in the front, and I suspect I might have some type of anti-lock brake control. I noticed the wheel speed sensor, but that could be just for the speedometer. Certainly have a nice array of headlights there. I have two fog lights and a main headlight with turn signals. There I see those rather robust exhausts. They're heading to the back. I suspect this bike is not a real quiet bike. One thing that's interesting about this bike, though, is it is heavy. It's coming in at about more than 800 pounds. And it does have reverse. Reverse, though, is electric. Yes, that's what this little lever is for right here. You move this lever to the reverse position, and you're actually using the starter motor to back the bike up. So the engine's not running for reverse. This is just used for parking. But here I can use the starter motor to move the bike backwards. And if an 800-pound bike and I'm going to need to park it, that would certainly be a tremendous help. Let's take a look here. Here, of course, I have the intake, and this is, of course, an electronic fuel injection system, electronic engine control. But here I have the shifter, 1 down, 5 up. And here we have the clutch. It's hydraulic. We have the brake there on the other side. Here we see our button there for our reverse. And beautiful bike. One thing about this bike, though, is it has a shaft drive. Let's take a look at this here as we move to the other side. Here we see the master cylinder and the pedal for the rear brake, and there we see the drive shaft. So leaving the transmission and going there to the rear differential via a drive shaft. Now, of course, the engine primarily is air-cooled, but I do have an oil cooler out there in front. Certainly a open road performance bike, and my speedometer is going up to 200 kilometers per hour. Good and fast. Well, this is one version. Let's spin around here and look at the other one right here. And very similar. This doesn't have the saddlebags and is really not set up for a second rider. So this is just a single bike as far as the number of people riding on it. It's certainly a performance model. Very similar setup. We can clearly see our drive shaft there in back. We have a disc brake there in back. 2 discs there in front. And again, our hydraulic brake, hydraulic clutch. Here we see the brake pedal for the rear brake right here, and there's this little master cylinder. And up front, this is the master cylinder and handle here for the front disc. And there we see the clutch, hydraulic. As we look at that dual exhaust, I'm sure this is not a quiet bike. This also has the reverse selector for electric reverse, and there's her shifter. So, good streamlined bike. So, this is a beautiful bike here. What year is this bike?
2022.
Okay, so this is a 2000.
This year model.
Okay. Yes. Now, how much does this bike cost?
This.
Oh, here's the price right there.
In Thai baht.
In Thai baht.
Yeah.
So we're coming in about 1 million Thai baht.
Yes.
Okay. So
Have 4 colors.
All right, so these are our color combinations. Okay. All right.
This color is a black stone.
Okay. Yeah, beautiful color. Is this the most popular color?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
In Thailand, it's famous. It is a black stone.
Okay.
Then this is Manhattan.
Ah, that's a little bit different color.
Yeah.
Yes. Now I know BMW has a large selection of motorcycles, and here at the show today we only have 3. These 2 and the one in the back. Now, but this is certainly a beautiful bike, and this is called the R18.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you. Kapkun ma ka. Now I like these handle guards. We had talked about these before. All right. Okay. Here we're looking at another model of a performance bike, and this is quite the performance bike. One thing I appreciate here is these handle guards. These are a nice feature there BMW likes to use. And these bikes are 2-cylinder bikes. And I would guess a combination of air and oil cooling. As we see there, I have the aluminum fins there on the cylinders. Now this bike is set up very much like the other ones. This is shaft drive. But what's interesting about it here is that this is actually the sole support for the rear wheel. So you'll notice if we go back on the other side, there's nothing here. Now, do we have a reverse for this bike?
This bike.
Is there?
This true color.
The color? Do I have a reverse gear? Can I back the bike up electrically?
No.
No reverse. No
Yeah,
reverse.
No reverse.
No reverse on this one. And here's our shifter. So 1 down, 5 up.
Yes, one down.
1 down, 5 up. Hydraulic clutch. Hydraulic brake. Now, does it have a type of anti-lock brake, or is it just conventional disc brake?
And I have a 3.
Okay, and there we see, oh, we have an additional shock,
Yeah.
and there's my accumulator right there for pressure developed in the shock. And here is the coolers. Now, does this use coolant, or is it strictly oil? Does it have coolant for the engine? Coolant? No, just oil. So those are oil coolers. I have 2 oil coolers. Certainly a very interesting performance bike. So this is the R1250. And this one's coming in a little more expensive than the other bikes. So this is a high-end performance motorcycle. Yeah, there's our ZF.
Yeah.
This is the accumulator here for the shock. PSA, okay. All right.